Ní bhhain náir déan wadarang achtanúk, Mac burian wadarang bagarúk, Manamaith mir bea na linga wadarang bake, Karingarabu bunjo the ego, Wa the crow, Kimbani ba Dean Gilson. Welcome to Wadarang Country.
Live from Wadarang Country, welcome to Lance TV. Coming to you from the palatial new Camp Street Studios in Ballarat, get ready to laugh, think, love and sparkle. And now, it's time to turn that camp dial all the way up to fabulous. Here's your host, the multi-award-winning Lance-tastic, Lance de Boyle.
You know what I find really funny about this? That the people who work on this show are consistently just moving around random plastic animals and breezy. If you've just tuned in, welcome. You're watching Let's TV. I'm Let's de Boyle. Thank you. We have a live studio audience. We are coming to you live from Ballarat. Currently known as the resting place of Bunjil the Eagle. To any First Nations people who are watching us this evening, welcome. Please join us with everybody. Pull up your favourite sofa and take a sip of your favourite drink, and we're going to get on with the show. Whew, that was a short job. Hello. Look at you, looking at me, look at me. I must preface this whole thing by saying happy Wear It Purple Day to everybody out there who is wearing purple. Magnificent work. I've got my purple tie on. I'm just checking. I'm looking. I've got a monitor over here to make sure my tie is actually purple. For those of you who have celebrated with cupcakes, well done. And if you are a membership of a gym, work twice as hard tomorrow. So we hope that those of you who have not worn purple but have seen purple have had their heart held, and may love rain upon you. Speaking of love, in completely the opposite end of that, I want to talk about the census. Because that census makes no sense to me. Does it make sense to you? No, I didn't think it would make sense to us. Oh, I was going for the joke. Sophie, can we have the slide, please? So this is the extension of all things politics, I guess. As we know that the census was going to go, no, we're not going to have LGBTIQA plus people in the census. And now Albanese backflips on sexuality census question. Well, if I can have the camera back, it's not just about sexuality. This is politicians at work. And as many of you know, regular viewers will know, I am a card-carrying Labor supporter, but this has got under my goat, and I'm not riding it terribly well. As we all know, sexuality is not what it's all about. I think that the politicians at hand are quite ignorant to the fact that we're talking about identity. Sexuality, sure, but identity is what this is about, and that's what we're all crying out for. So fingers crossed they might come to their senses over the weekend, but heaven knows, I'm not saying any more on that, but I'll tell you what I will talk about now. Our very special guest tonight. We have one of Ballarat's finest in the house, and their name is Bratzilla. Please, let's welcome.
Hello.
Mwah. Oh, look at you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Actually, stand up again for us. I'm loving this Wednesday Addams motif.
Thank you.
Well done, you.
Thank you. I quite enjoy it because it makes small children think that I'm a witch, and, who am I to deny?
Fantastic. Pull up a seat. I love the confidence in that whole sort of like, they think I'm a witch? Sure, I'll go with that.
Yeah.
No.
Spread as many falsifications about myself as I can.
Wow, look at you now sort of working with smoke and mirrors. Is it true? Is it not true? Who knows?
I mean, I'm a musician. We're all about the theatrics.
All about the theatre. The theatre, darling, the theatre. Now, tell us a little bit, did you find the place okay tonight?
Yes, we did. Well, I mean, I've been here for other Sonica events before, so when I found out it was all under the same roof, I Made it a little bit easier. Didn't realise what a versatile building it was though. So
There is a little bit of something for everyone here at Lance TV. And to you, happy Wear It Purple Day.
thank you. I completely missed the memo. I forgot that was today. Otherwise, I might have dyed my hair purple instead of pink for the occasion.
That's all right. It's kind of the pink is on the.
I'm wearing purple at heart.
Fantastic. Purple heart. No?
I mean, go for it.
Sure.
Seriously.
You are an up-and-coming musician here in Ballarat.
On my better days, yes.
I love it. When we were doing the interview before the show, Bratzilla was just sort of like, blah, 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 and now it's kind of like, oh no, I'll just be all humble now.
I mean, don't need to, out me like that, but
I look forward to getting into the interview. There's lots of juicy little bits and pieces that we're going to get to explore with you. But first, we have a pre-recorded segment, and that's called Lance TV's Artist Corner. And after the break, we will be right back with Bratzilla, right after this.
Hi, my name's Elijah and I use he, him pronouns. I'm a multidisciplinary artist studying the Masters of Photography at RMIT University. I live and work on the lands of the Wurundjeri, Woiwurrung and Boonwurrung peoples of the Kulin Nation. Primarily, I am a photographic lens-based artist and I shoot in both digital and film. Recently, I've started experimenting with developing my own black and white film, which has been a really fun and exciting process. I'm also a creative writer and I also do music performance. I also engage in collaborative public art and arts management practice through my involvement with Avenue Productions, which is a youth arts and music organisation based in Moonee Valley. I didn't start in the creative arts. I started in science. So in high school, I studied chemistry, physics, biology, psychology, and maths methods. But then I discovered that I loved creative arts, so I decided to pursue a Certificate 4 in Visual Art at RMIT. It was a really good, broad program that enabled me to experiment with a range of visual media, including drawing, painting, photography, sculpture, and public art. So through that program, I was able to create a final folio of artwork situated within the contemporary art space. My creative work explores identity, memory, liminality, and embodied affect, questioning the dominant Western thought paradigms that perpetuate oppression and marginalisation. My identity as a queer creative with experiences of chronic pain is inextricable from my creative practice. I'm also passionate about social justice and advocacy, which guided me towards experimenting or studying in the youth work sector. So I pursued a Certificate 4 in Youth Work at RMIT and then followed that with a Bachelor of Youth Work at Victoria University. And the insights I gained through those studies now inform my creative practice as a photographer, where I employ methodologies that seek to challenge and destabilise oppressive social ideologies through my master's projects. My Semester 1 master's project, called Memoria Comedit Me, Memory Consumes Me, examined how re-entering spaces associated with memories and past identities can reconstruct fragmented memories of selfhood and allowing them to resurface through photographic practice and immersing myself back in those spaces that were so loaded with memory and haunted by past versions of myself. The work juxtaposed images like that one that was shown at TBH Studio of me in my grandmother's house wearing her dress, with images of the church where I celebrated my first communion and confirmation, communicating the complexity of existing within the liminal spaces between gender binaries and within religious identities. And yeah, just being in that difficult space and trying to navigate all of that. So my current project in my second semester of my Masters of Photography is called An Ecology of Grief, and it aims to subvert normative interpretations of mourning and grief through photography. So I'm examining how different knowledge paradigms and ways of knowing frame grief and mourning, and I'm undergoing this project in the wake of my grandmother's death. So I'm exploring my own grief and my own experience of grief within like a Catholic framework and having the Catholic funeral, and just talking about how my own beliefs work within that framework. And yeah, so I'm juxtaposing archival images of my grandma in her youth with photos that I've taken of nature. So by doing this, I'm focusing on the intersecting elements of natural environments that hold significance to my grandmother. For example, the Maribyrnong River, where she lived for quite a lot of her life. So I'm alluding to the non-dualistic idea that all beings exist in relation to one another in this eternal flow of becomings, trying to move away from that dualistic notion that Christianity has of life and death being opposites. My advice would just be give it a go. Try it and see how you go. Even if you start with a certificate 4 like I did, which is a 6-month course as opposed to a 3-year bachelor's degree, just get a chance to try different things out and see what medium you like working in the most.
If you're interested in participating, email us at lance.artist.corner@gmail.com.
Hello, Facebook. Look at you. If you are watching us on Facebook, even if you're watching us on Facebook and you're still watching Channel 31, drop us a line, drop us a little something in the thread at Lance TV Ballarat. If you've got any questions for Bratzilla as we move through the interview, be more than welcome to share that with our wonderful guest. There was a comment and it's gone. It's gone.
Where did it go?
Went away.
What have you done with
it?
it?
From Jessica. And Jessica went,
that's my mum.
Yay! Let's hear it from the audience for Bratzilla's mum. There you go. Well, that was enough about that bit. You have rats, don't
I
you?
do have rats. I have 3 rats. Their names are Ramona, Frankie, and Brambles. If you don't have rats, I honestly believe they make the best pets. I love cats and dogs equally and I will never choose, but I am a rat person.
Ramona. Where does the name Ramona come from?
That's from the Ramones.
Ah,
yes.
Fantastic.
And Frankie is after Frank Iero from My Chemical Romance, and Brambles just seemed like a really good rat name. So she's the only one that's not named after a musician.
Fantastic.
My first rat was called Duff, after Duff McKagan, but he passed away a while ago. R.I.P. Duff. But I've actually got a tattoo of him as well.
Really?
Yes, would you like to see it? It's on my ankle.
Uh,
You don't have to.
maybe through the
Show you
course of the
later.
show. Maybe you can just sort of just drop a photo of it in the thread.
Yeah,
Share it with
exactly.
everybody. So how long does a rat live for?
Well, the basic fancy rats you get generally live for about 2.5 years. If you're lucky, they can make it to 3. But that's the one downside to having them as pets, is they generally don't live that long. But you know, it means you just got to make the most of the time you do have with them.
Do you keep them in like a big aquarium?
Oh, they've
thing?
got a big double-story cage that's about the same
Excuse
height
me.
as me.
It's
Granted,
not
I'm not very tall, but yes, they have a big mansion.
And is it
very
easy to
spoiled.
clean? And
I mean, I do like I do spot cleans throughout the week, clean their litter trays. They are very well litter trained, by the way. Very smart, hygienic animals, contrary to popular belief. But once a month, I do a full deep clean of the cage, which takes...
welcome back. You're watching Let's TV. I am Let's DeBoyle.
Woo!
Oh, you got a studio audience in, and they're only clapping for the guest. Yes, slow clap. That's Cheryl, our floor manager, pretending to be at the cricket. No. Bree, we are...
Brie?
Oh, sorry, Brett's...
Who's Brie?
Oh, so sorry.
That's not even my given name.
No, I know. Bratzilla.
Have you had another guest on here before?
Yeah, well, yeah. I've been seeing other guests. I'm terribly sorry.
That's okay.
It happens from time to time.
That's
my
all right.
age.
I'll forgive you just this once.
I know, right? Yeah. So, Bratzilla.
Yes?
This is the part of the interview, or this is the part of the show where we do the interview.
Mm-hmm.
Are you okay for that?
Sure, I suppose.
There you go. I'm going to take that as consent, and we're going to start the interview.
Cool.
Bratzilla,
Lance.
what we're all waiting for with bated breath, where were you born?
I was born and raised right here in Ballarat, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm not really a fan. I think I can say that, considering I've lived here for 20 years.
Wow.
Can't wait to get out. I'm sorry if that's offensive to any other Ballarat residents.
Bellafornians. What sort of a Bellafornian is this person?
Yeah, I know.
With that, we know you as a musician. You come from a house that has a family who really loves music.
Yes, always grown up around music. My mum was very into music in high school, and even my family members who aren't musicians themselves, all very, very music-oriented people. So,
What sort of tunes would go on at your house growing up?
oh God, from my grandparents, there was always a lot of the Beatles, Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, earlier stuff. From my mum, there was a little bit of everything from Cradle of Filth, which she would play on Halloween and played a big part in my obsession with dark imagery. Then there was everything from Guns N' Roses to a bit of Pink to a bit of Metallica, a bit of everything, really.
Amazing.
Yes.
What an amazing kind of soundtrack to
Yeah,
your early
I know. I
life.
think my sister and I were always going to be into music because it was inevitable.
Yeah,
Couldn't really
yeah,
get
yeah.
away from it.
What is your first memory of making music?
I don't know if this really counts as making music, but my grandparents had this little kind of a keyboard, but it didn't really make actual music. It was kind of just a ding, 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 ding. And I'm pretty sure I drove them crazy with it all day long, coming up with little tunes and things. But no, my sister and I also, pretty much as soon as we could talk, or as soon as I could talk, used to play what we called our Beanie Kid talent show. Do you know those little Beanie Kids, Beanie Baby things?
Yeah.
We used to have a really, really impressive Beanie Kid collection, and we would conduct Beanie Kid talent shows where we either made up our own songs or did our own renditions, and we were very, very loud. Sometimes we went through that all day, so.
Play it loud.
Yes,
Isn't that what they
exactly.
say? Smashing Pumpkins, Bullet with Butterfly Wings. Talk to us about
yes.
what that means in your world.
Yes. Well, as I said, pretty much as soon as I could talk, I was singing. Smashing Pumpkins is another band that my mum played a lot when I was very, very young. And I recall the first song I ever learnt all the words to was Bullet with Butterfly Wings by Smashing Pumpkins. And I knew all the words to it by the time I was about 2 or 3. And whenever it came on, I could just sing along word for word. And I think that was when my family kind of realized how tuned in I was to music and that I could not remember pretty much anything else, but I could pick up song lyrics. Kind of like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Still today?
Well, yeah, that was my struggle through high school, was I couldn't remember any of my homework, but because I'd have songs playing in my head all day long, which I'm sure is the case for a lot of other musicians. It's just
It's
across
a
the
thing.
board. It is. It's a
thing.
thing. It's a thing.
It's a thing.
It is.
Year 9, high school.
Yes, no.
You found yourself in a vet music course. What's a vet
Yes.
music course?
Well, the good thing about Ballarat High is it was one of the few schools that went all the way up to Cert 4, which a lot of high schools in Victoria don't have that in music. But it was really, really great because it basically covered everything from music performance. So we'd go off and form our own bands and perform to a class, which was great. But then we also covered everything like stage production, setting up a gig, packing up a gig, music production using production software, how to get gigs, how to make it in the music industry, OH&S stuff. So it was really like an across-the-board thing that went over 4 years. So
With the music software, do you remember, was it Ableton or was it Pro Tools?
we used Ableton in
yeah.
high school. I use Pro Tools now. I use Logic Pro.
So is one more user friendly than the other?
I suppose if you're not really that experienced, Ableton is probably better. But if you do know a little bit more about what you're doing, I personally prefer Logic Pro. But I guess it's each to their own with how you like doing things. So.
And I know with Ableton it comes like you can get like a whole library and libraries and libraries and stuff. Is Pro Tools like that too?
Yeah, it is like that. You can get obviously there's the stuff that it comes with, but you can also download a whole bunch of other samples or mixes, drum pads, pretty much everything your heart desires.
Right, so if you wanted a Rhodes, like a set of Rhodes keys, you could just download that and go, right, here we go.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow.
I know, there's a lot you can work with there, but then it's kind of a blessing and a curse, because if you're going into it and you look at everything you've got, it's kind of, where do I begin? Because there's too much to choose from, which I myself am a very indecisive person. So I can waste a lot of time just going through different electric drum kits or keyboard sounds, and, to your heart's content, you just flick through.
But I guess that's all part of
It is.
knowing your trade.
It's quite therapeutic too. Just listen through the sounds.
Yeah.
Lovely soundboards.
Have you made up like your own kind of drum kits and sort of gone, oh, I'll take the snare from
I have. I'm not a drummer myself personally. I can play a few instruments. Drums is not one of them. I like to think I've got a good sense of rhythm, but every time I've tried to get on a drum kit, it's a complete disaster.
Yeah, but like on...
Oh yeah, I'm better on slightly better on electronic drum kits and picking out. I like to think that I'm better at it, but
Yeah.
I don't want to make that statement.
Moving right along. So Pro Tools for you at home. Ableton's what you cut your teeth on. That's all pretty exciting.
Yeah.
And how do you get your guitar sounds in?
I have a microphone. I have a couple of microphones because it depends if you're wanting to record vocals or if you're wanting to record bass or guitar. Obviously, there's the different frequencies and different mics will pick them up differently. But I just sit on a chair and play because I usually record on acoustic when I'm doing my demos, which is what a lot of my recent work has been. But play into a mic with a pop filter, which is then connected to an audio interface, which connects into a laptop. So it's pretty cut and dry.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So sound, electronic, into the machine.
Essentially, yeah. As much as because I can't drum, so most of my drums are on an electronic drum pad. I like to have the real organic guitar because you can't really replicate that the same.
No, there is something quite human in certain instruments.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
You really peg the difference when you're listening to a lot of electronic stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to go for a short break. And when we come back, we're going to have some more chit-chat, more discovery of Bratzilla right after this. Hi, everybody on
What have we got in the
Facebook.
chat? Anyone got anything for us?
I've done it again.
What have you done? Why do you do this?
I'm doing it so we have this conversation. That's why I'm doing it. So Jessica Ann, where do you see yourself in 5 years, Bratzilla?
Oh God, I don't know where I see myself next week. Why do you ask me
don't
such a
answer that
broad question?
Tanya Smith. Hello, Tanya. How's Nate going? I hope Nate's feeling better. I saw Rebecca over the course of the Festival of Australian Queer Theatre last week. So love to everyone there. So where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Hopefully with more rats.
Not in Melbourne. Not in Ballarat.
Not in Ballarat. Hopefully with more rats, music out on platforms somewhere. Hopefully still doing gigs, probably still busking. As long as I can still make a living off of doing what I love, which is music, then I'll be happy.
Will you still be in Australia in 5 years?
I honestly don't know.
There you go. Do you know somebody called Ondi Pondi?
Oh, that is a friend of my mother's, I believe.
Please play us a song.
Oh, you'll have to wait. You gotta wait, Andre.
Bella, see? It says Bella.
Oh, she knows me. She can't. That's my secret identity.
Dun, dun, dun. Thank you, Ondi Pondi. So you're kind of living in the moment with what you're currently doing.
I suppose,
you can do that at 20. When you get to my age, it's kind of like every second counts.
Yeah. No, I don't like to think about the fact that I'm halfway to 40 because I start spiraling and going to an existential crisis and I have to remind myself, you're just 20. It's okay. I'm not going to die tomorrow, hopefully.
All being well in the world. All
touch
being
wood.
well in the world. So 40 with a existential crisis. And I just got away from Dr. Safe in the bio box going, hello, it's me. No.
Sorry, didn't mean to call you out like that.
Yeah, look at you, making fun of all us oldies.
I know. I'm not doing it intentionally. It just
No,
happens.
it's just coming out.
It just does. I'm sorry.
No, don't apologise.
It's okay, we're not live on TV right now. It's only on Facebook.
Only Facebook.
Only Facebook.
Only Facebook. There you go. Channel 31, how are you going? I'm Let's to Boil if you just tuned in, you're watching Lance TV. And we're currently in the second part of a three-part interview with the very lovely Bratzilla. I know one question that we haven't actually put in here, and I might start with it in this section.
Okay, do tell.
Bratzilla, how did you get your name?
Honestly, it's not that interesting of a story.
No,
I was having a conversation with one of my good friends about the Bratz dolls, so it does kind of come from that. We were just discussing about how stylish the Bratz dolls are and how for a toy company they had no business going that hard. And then, I don't know, the name just popped into my head and I'm like, that sounds like a really badass name. I could maybe use that. Kind of resonates with me. Brat rhymes with rat. I like rats.
There you go. Well, and we tend to call Ballarat the rat, or Brat for short.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you are the musical monster
It's got a double meaning. It's got many meanings.
It's a layered thing. It is now anyway. So with your excitement at through high school, through the vet music course you were doing, you ended up with doing some duo work with a friend of yours.
Yes.
And started writing music with a bit more of a, you know what, we should just try this and see what happens.
Yeah, well, as much as I'd been writing music for a very long time before that, whenever anyone asked me what I wanted to do with my life up until that point, I'd kind of refrain from saying music because it's not really taken seriously by a lot of people, where it's kind of like if you don't become famous, you're not going to make a living off of it, which I understand to a degree. But yeah, once myself and a friend of mine started actually writing an album together, which we didn't end up releasing, but the work was still there, it kind of made me realize that like I could actually do this, that this is actually a possibility and that it's not just a fantasy dream, and that, you know, I should maybe start putting in the work and trying to make it happen. So here I am, still putting in the work.
Yeah, right. So what was it about, working with another person? So, you know, I guess, and I use the word intimately, not in a kind of sassy way,
okay.
but that, you know, because you're working just the two of you, and it's kind of like, I've got this idea, how do we work this
Well, I
through?
suppose a big part of it was because like I said, I can play guitar, a bit of bass, but I am not a drummer. I wasn't the best music producer at the time. I was still very new to that, and the friend who I was working with was very much ahead of me in that aspect. So the two of us together, we both had our different strengths and things like that. And then when it started to become like a big picture, it was kind of like a wake-up call for me that I was like, hang on a second, we've actually got something here. Maybe I can actually do something with this. And I think, having someone else to help me sort of bring my visions to life when I couldn't really do it on my own at the time, it was,
Amazing. And from that, you sort of went, you know what, have guitar, we'll travel. Ended up getting into some busking.
Yes, I started busking about a year after I finished high school. So I've been busking for about a year now, and that is how I've made the majority of my income over the last year or so. Thank you. But yeah, it's definitely not easy. Not a lot of people carry cash nowadays, which is why I try to busk out the front of supermarkets, because at least I can get cash out. But I need to get one of those FPOS squares that you can like touch on, because I imagine that would probably maximize my sales income.
Yeah.
I don't know words.
Yeah, you do. You're using them.
Well.
But, you know, I suppose at least, like people coming out of a supermarket, there's, you know, here's 2 apples, thanks for the song.
Oh, yeah, actually, I've got a collection of things that I've been given other than money when I've been busking, and it's quite interesting. I do get, like, occasionally food or, you know, bottles of water, always sealed, always check that. But yeah, occasionally I get things like someone gave me a candle once, someone gave me a hoodie from their own clothing line that they'd made. Someone gave me a can of beer, which was questionable considering I don't think I really look old enough to drink. But, you know, it's always interesting. It's nice to see the generosity of strangers.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, there's a guy who turns up near my supermarket from time to time, and he leans into jazz, and he's quite clever. And as I walk past, anytime I see him now, we have this relationship. I do my shopping, and I come out with 4 fried dimmies and an iced coffee.
Oh, lovely.
And I stand and I wait for him to sort of play and sort of go, okay, this is the exchange.
I'm sure he appreciates that.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. I don't see him often, but when I do see him, it's kind of, hey, and I just shop and come out and there you go.
Don't see that many buskers in Ballarat nowadays. I used to see more when I was younger, but I don't know. I mean, in a way, it's kind of good for me because there's less competition. Whenever I turn up to one of my corners and there's someone else working there, I'm just sort of like, excuse me, this town ain't big enough for the both of us.
Yeah. Sitting going with your scissors.
Yes.
There's a guy. There's often somebody out the front of IGA in Sebastopol.
Ooh, really?
Yes. There's maybe have we got a Costco here in Ballarat?
I don't think we do.
Oh. Have we got any sort of?
Unless I'm just oblivious.
No,
and I haven't seen it.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is obviously how far I go when I go shopping. Do we have one of these? I'm surprised. I don't even know. I think we've got 3 Aldis, haven't we?
Oh, we've got a few because I busk out the front of a lot of them.
Oh gosh.
Make a lot of money at Aldi.
Oh. Anyway, back to the story. With your singing part element. When we were talking earlier tonight, when we were putting the interview together, you brought up the world's most wonderful name for me, and I lit up when you said it, and you said, oh yes, I was getting singing lessons for a while of Danny Fry.
Yes, love Danny, love her so much. Hello Danny, if you happen to see this. But yeah, I did lessons with Danny on and off through high school, did group lessons for a bit in year 7 and 8, and then took a break for a while and then did solo coaching through my VCE, which she helped me tremendously with my confidence building and learning how to take care of my voice and how to fix certain issues that I didn't even know I had. And well, not necessarily issues, but just, technical things and how to
things you could do
how to perfect my art.
How to look after how to look after your tool.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, I think the vocal exercises and things that she taught me, I still use now, and that's, can't imagine going up on stage without warming up that way first.
Yeah,
so.
I think I've known Danny Fry for about 40 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we don't see each other.
You guys go
often.
way back.
Yeah, we go way back. I think I knew Danny Fry before Danny Fry was old enough to drink alcohol.
No.
Only just, but... Yeah, we were in a production together.
Oh, awesome.
Years ago.
What production was that?
It was called Disco the Musical.
Ooh.
I'll tell you all about it later.
I might need to look that up somewhere. Could I find it on YouTube or anything?
I don't know.
Anything? Maybe?
I don't know.
I'll do my research.
Yeah,
I'm a pretty good detective.
And let me know when you find it.
I will.
That's the
I will let you know.
First paid gig, let's talk about that.
The first paid gig I did was, I was 17, I believe, and it was at a Pride trivia night that was run by the Rainbow Alliance, I think. It was a group of Ballarat grammar students who had come together and saved up their money to put on this lovely event where, it was just LGBT themed trivia, had a few lovely guest speakers, a DJ, and they were looking for some queer musicians to perform for that day. So I actually didn't realize at the time that I was going to be paid for it. They didn't mention that in the message, so I happily did it for what I thought was for free. And then afterwards, they're like, here's your money for your time. And I'm like, oh, extra bonus.
Yeah, right.
But no, that was a lot of fun.
Amazing.
Yeah, I wasn't playing my own songs at the time, but it was a good first experience because that was the first gig I'd done that wasn't run through my school. So it was, good to get out of my comfort zone and spread my wings a little bit.
And you also, now correct me if I'm wrong, you were involved with something at Piano Bar.
Yes. Oh God, that was only 2 days ago, so it's still very fresh in my memory.
Fresh news
Yes.
gossip.
No.
Oh, spill the tea.
Yeah. No. I competed in the second heat round of Piano Bar's Got Talent. Didn't make it through the finals, but still had a lovely time. So thank you to everyone who came to that, and for those of you who did vote for me, even if it wasn't enough. Why didn't you vote? Damn it. No, it's okay.
Just go in. Just go in
Yeah.
again.
No, I mean, I could.
You could.
Could go in next year.
Well, just do it
yeah.
now. Just go and stand at the front. Just busk out the front. On the wall.
There's an idea. If I try that and they tell me to leave, I'm going to tell them that it was you who suggested it.
Yeah, totally.
I will name drop you.
Yeah, just tell them Lancy sent you. Then they'll ring me and go, what have you done? No.
I'll use you as my just collateral damage for... There we go.
There you go. Look, anyway, if there's anything I could do to help, you just...
Okay.
Just do it, and if I find out about it later, well, there you go.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
I will take you up on that.
Anything to help.
I would take you up on that.
Now, we first met each other, just on
Yes.
gigs, just still on the gigs thing. We met each other earlier this year at the Ballarat, during Ballarat Pride Month, but more specifically was the Pride Market at the Ballarat Mechanics Institute. How did you get that gig?
That was actually through my sister, I believe, because my sister is part of the Sonica group. She is in the live audience right now. Make some noise.
Make some noise.
Woo! But,
Woo-hoo.
but no, she was offered a gig there because they wanted to have some young performers running throughout the day just in the background while the market was going on, and because we are kind of a package deal and like to support each other and do a lot of gigs together, she extended the invitation to me, so we both went and performed one after another, and yeah, so I've heard a thing for that one.
So, and that was through Sonica and City Ballarat through Loose Tim's.
Yes,
Yeah.
love Luce. Shout out to Luce. Hey Luce.
There you go. So there's a few gigs. Are there any other gigs that we haven't spoken about yet?
Earlier this year, my sister and I also performed at the Motley Bauhaus in Melbourne as part of the Midsumma festival. So that was a big one. That was fun.
Very cool. Journey down to Melbourne to play. To play for the city.
I know. We made a couple of days of it. Stayed at a hotel. Had a lovely time.
Did you throw a TV out the window? Or?
Oh, I should have.
Very rock and
Would have had to
roll.
pay for it though. I didn't get paid for the gig until afterwards though, so I wouldn't have had the money for it.
Oh, right.
But no, yeah, we weren't playing to a huge audience, but it was still. I think we still rocked the house pretty well.
Very good. Very good. I'll tell you what we're going to do about rocking the house. We need to go for a short break. And when we come back, we will have the third part of a 3-part interview with Bratzilla. But in the meantime, see you right after this.
Worth mentioning.
Facebook, here we are.
Ooh, here's a fidget toy I haven't tried out yet.
Ondi Pondy, soz Bratzilla.
You should be. You should be.
Loose Tim's.
Oh,
Hey!
Luce! Hey, Luce!
Big smiley face. There you go.
Awesome. So,
There you go. We should get Loose Tim's on the show
we really.
sometime.
Why haven't you?
I don't know. I just
Why
thought,
haven't you invited Loose?
I just thought about it. I do those things. So
Yes.
this show is hilarious. There have been people on the show that I've just seen on the street and gone, oh, do you want to be on my show on Friday? And like just random
I mean, it wasn't on
people.
the street, but that's kind of how this happened. Was I was at a gig and I was about to leave, and then you're like, "Hi, do you want to be on my show?" And I'm like,
here's my card.
"Yeah," and I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah, and I do that. Whereas
Yeah.
there have been other people that I've just gone, hey, do you want to be on my show? And it's taken, for some reason, it just takes 2 years for it to happen.
Well, I'm glad that this happened sooner.
Wow.
Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Wow,
I
there you
appreciate
go.
it.
Wow, it's not finished yet. Anything could still happen. I can see you're enjoying the fiddle toys.
I am having a lot of fun with the lovely array of fidget toys you've got here. Been trying not to let my mind wander too much, but they're just so fun.
If only I had a third
I
hand.
know.
No.
I know. No, they're so fun.
Jessica Ann, can't wait to see you do your thing. What's this
Oh,
thing?
thanks, Mom. Yeah, that's my mom, in case you guys didn't know.
Mom. Where would we be without Mom?
I don't appreciate you mocking me, Lance.
Actually, where were you coming back from today, Mom?
Oh, I was in a conference in Melbourne.
Yeah, because it dawned on me as I drove away. I was like, wait a minute, you got a suitcase? Where have you?
Yeah.
You're smuggling another child in.
Yes.
Oh, well.
But I was up there for a couple of days where it put me up in a
Nice hotel.
there you go. Fantastic. Back to us, back to us, darling.
Yes.
What else can we talk about?
What do you do when you're not running this show, Lance? Tell us about you.
I get pedicures done. I used to be a hand.
Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Welcome back. You're watching Let's TV. I am Lance Boyle, and I'm here with Bratzilla. Did you like that
I
one?
love your enunciation of that one. I need to use that. I need to start introducing myself that way. You know, I wasn't able to roll my R's until like my last year of high school.
Really?
And my friends used to make fun of me for it all the time because I just could not do it. And then it just came to me magically because I was determined to prove them wrong.
You know how I found the best way to roll your R's is just walk that way.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I know.
Oh, God.
You weren't expecting.
No.
None of us. I didn't even know that was going to come out of my mouth.
This is how you know this isn't scripted.
No, well, that's right. It's like just grab for the air and see what happens.
Yes.
Speak about grabbing for the air. Let's get back to
Oh.
talking about you. And as a songwriter, I'm really interested to understand what sort of process you go through when you're constructing a new work.
I mean, it does vary depending on the day and the mood, but generally I need to get either really sad or really angry, really passionate, all of the above, channel that emotion and then just put pen to paper and let it come out. And I think when you're writing the first draft of a song, I'm someone who does believe in first drafts when it comes to songwriting. I think you can rewrite the same song 10 times, 20 times over until you're happy with it and just explore the different versions or different variations. And I think it's really important when you're first writing it that you just get that raw emotion out in its like purest form, and it doesn't need to rhyme, it doesn't need to flow smoothly. You just need to get the idea and the creativity there while it's still like hot and raw, and then you proceed after that.
Amazing.
Yes.
So what sorts of themes does your music kind of talk to?
I mean, I try to cover a lot of bases. A lot of it is just a reflection of, I think, my own psyche and my own mental health struggles, which, let's be honest, musos, we're all fucking depressed. Lance told me that I can swear on here, okay? I did ask beforehand. But no, music for me is very much a healing process, as I know is the case for a lot of musicians. So it really is, for me, a healthy outlet to get those emotions out in a way that can maybe reach other people and other people can resonate with it. Or even if they don't, it's still just very therapeutic for me. So, and then a lot of it is also just very queer coded because, you know, I need to put that out there for my people. So
You are a rivet to your people.
I try.
Can I ask you a personal question? This is
Sure,
something that
of
we
course.
haven't
Yes.
we haven't talked about, but you've talked about your own personal journey with mental health. Have you found music to be something that actually works to your favour?
Oh, absolutely. Even like, yeah, the second I discovered music, but as I said earlier, I've always been around music. But I think, yeah, it's always helped. And there have been certain bands or certain albums that I've discovered at just like the perfect time where they've like really been able to help me through what specific issue I was going through at that time. And again, I know so many other people who have had that same experience where they can just put a pair of headphones in and like forget about everything else for a little bit, or you can cry to it, you can dance to it, you can scream to it. It's very cathartic.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that? You think
Oh,
music
absolutely.
catharsis? Yeah.
Music is this kind of intergalactic language.
Yeah,
like I'd
definitely.
say international, but kind of
It's more than that.
I think it was, it might have been Miles Davis who kind of says, playing, like you just send this vibration.
Yeah.
And it just, like it never stops. It just, it's in the air.
Yeah,
it's
totally.
vibrating and it just keeps going. So that ability for music, even without words to it, music can
absolutely.
speak to a lot of things.
Yeah.
Who are some of your influences?
Oh, I have so many. Could be here for so long.
Get all comfy.
Yes. No, I think the first moment I knew that I wanted to be a musician was when I first heard Pink. She was the catalyst for me. The first CD I ever got was Pink's Greatest Hits that I got, I think, for Christmas when I was about 6 years old, and that I wore it out literally. The cover is in 2 pieces now. The CD still works, but the cover is no longer intact because I just listened to it so many times. So yeah, she was definitely the starting point for me. Then also My Chemical Romance, obviously. I mean, look at me. Yes. Alice Cooper was a very big one. Green Day, Slipknot. I'm a big fan of the more metal, heavier side of things that really taps into my own raw emotions. But yeah, I think I like to listen to a little bit of everything, but the more heavier or harder rock stuff for me, just the raw, visceral, unapologetic aspect that it has to it just really opened up a whole new world for me, I think. Yeah.
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 Any influence from the Beatles or any of that early stuff?
Oh, my poppy's going to hate me for this, but no, well, not the Beatles.
Really?
Heard so much of them growing up. Well, I mean, if we're talking about early music, Queen, obviously.
Sure.
There's so many reasons. Freddie Mercury, rest in peace, absolute icon. Whenever I'm chronically overdressed for anything or just really looking out of place, I always like to remind myself that Freddie Mercury would support my agenda.
Yeah, nice.
Freddie Mercury would think I look fabulous.
Very cool.
So.
With all of that, and considering the conversation we've been on, you are currently working on an EP.
I am.
Talk to us about that.
Well, do you want to know the title yet, or should I keep that under wraps?
Is there a working title or a title?
Well, I think this is the title I'm going to go with. There's still room for change, but I think we're going to go with the Graveyard Demos.
Nice.
Because, I just wanted to tap in. I've always been very, very obsessed with the dark, Tim Burton, gothic aesthetic imagery type thing. So I think that's really what I'm going for with the cover art and with the whole tone.
Fantastic.
So,
who's doing your cover art? You?
Don't know yet, actually. I've got a couple of people I might reach out to. I won't name drop just yet, but got a couple of friends who are into photography who I might ask later.
Fantastic. Oh, I love it. We get tea and then we kind of get the sort of teapot, but not the tea.
Not the tea, no. Of teasing everyone.
So where are you on the road of the EP? Still writing material?
I've gotten all the material written. The problem is I have way too much material, and it's more so narrowing down which songs I'm going to use. And don't worry, the songs that don't appear on the EP will probably appear on an album later down the track.
Oh, look at you making plans for your own future.
I know. I know.
That's great. Thank you for being a guest on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for being had. With all of our guests on Lance TV, we like to give them a few little thank you things.
Oh,
so,
really? You didn't have to.
So
you shouldn't have.
Here's a little tiny pride bag. Just for you.
Love it.
You can
Beautiful.
put your
Wonderful.
cables
Thank
and whatever
you.
in there.
Oh.
And of course,
Wonderful.
everybody gets a framed photo. I'm looking a bit jaundiced here. A framed photo of me saying I was on Let's TV.
Oh, thank you so much, Lance. You shouldn't have.
Oh, but I
Look
had
at us.
to.
Don't we look lovely together?
There you go. Fantastic.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Don't go anywhere. There are people in the thread who are just saying, are you going to play some music? Well, it might be a thing.
If you stick around.
Stick around.
wait and see.
We'll go for the ad break. And when we come back, we'll be back right after this. And if you're keen to stay in contact with Bratzilla, you can do so by heading over to Instagram at Bratzilla Music. Lance TV will be back right after this series of very short messages. And I had to go to the bathroom and realised that I was sitting in their bathroom with me looking over my shoulder. They'd put me on their
Slightly
system.
uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's a little bit sort of like,
Yeah.
a little bit awkward.
Lovely.
Yeah, so we're just on Facebook right now. So how was that for you?
That was wonderful. Honestly, I was less nervous than I thought I would be. So thank you for making this such a lovely, welcoming environment.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I know. I was expecting more mischief, but no.
No, but that was your job. You're the guest.
Yeah. I hope I delivered.
Yeah. You can watch it back and you'll go, oh, yeah. There it is.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Fantastic.
Yes.
And I might say too that the way that we do interviews is not the way the rest of the world does interviews.
I mean, I haven't done that many, so this is my first. Well, certainly my first hour-long interview I've done. This has really been a good learning experience for me.
On television?
Yeah, definitely.
How is that for advertising? An hour on TV talking about what you love most.
Absolutely. I even throw in my rats in there, which is my other thing that I love as much
right.
as music.
Should have brought the photos in. And here are the kids.
I should have. I should have just brought the rats in, honestly. I could have just had them crawling on me while I was doing my interview. I'm sure they would have loved to be on TV.
Everything's always in hindsight.
Yeah, it is. It's like I'll go home and I'll show them this. Show them what they missed out on.
That's right. You'll be cleaning that cage after they see that, I can tell you.
Yeah. No, but like I said, they're very well litter trained. They're very easy to train, rats are. I'm sorry. If you get me going on rats, I'll just be ranting about it for...
Yeah, I mean, clearly they have a brain because, psychology really liked using them in mazes and all sorts of things. I won't go into the yuckiness of other things, but, just that their whole ability to be able to figure things out very quickly.
I'll talk to you later and I'll show you all the different tricks that you can teach rats.
Really? Jump through this hoop, parachute.
Yeah.
Hang glide.
Some of them have learned how to recognize, they can essentially read certain words. I saw one rat that could read 2 different words.
Really?
Yeah. I know.
Wow, it's shapes. I suppose they're just looking at a shape.
Yeah, well, when it comes to pattern recognition, they actually test higher than humans in specifically the...
You are watching Lance TV and it's time for All Over the Shop. 2nd of September is the Open Closet in Bendigo, and that's a free non-gendered recycling clothing boutique happening at Thorn Harbour Hall. The 3rd of September is the campaign launch here in Ballarat. It is the election for council, and this campaign launch is for the Greens Party at Trades Hall. So on the 4th is 20 years since Essendon won the final. That's at the Essendon Hotel. For anybody who barracks for Essendon, gee, that's a long time. 7th of September, Ballarat Local Produce Swap in September. That's at the Ballarat Community Garden, and that starts at 9:30, and that's a morning thing. 7th of September is the Ballarat Spoken Word from 2 o'clock, featuring the poetic stylings of Steve Smart. 8th of September, our friend Michelle Parsons is doing a solo acoustic act in Altona at 113 Civic Parade. The 15th of September from 1 o'clock is the Trans, Gender Diverse and Allies Social Catch-Up, and that's in Strathdale. Our friends at TBH Studio has a zine fair on the 21st of September, and that starts at 10 a.m. and goes through till 2 o'clock. The 21st of September, our very own Trudy Edgley has an album launch happening in Castlemaine, and that starts at 7:30, and that's at the Cool Room. 28th of September is I'm not even going to pronounce that, but it's the Tulip Festival in Sylvian. It is a food, wine and jazz weekend. Creswick Community Garage Sales is happening at the Creswick Neighbourhood Centre, and that's from 7 a.m. on the 19th through to about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. The 20th of October is the Malden and Barring Up Show for 2024, and that's at Racecourse Reserve in Malden. Beautiful little spot. The 16th of November brings us the Victorian Medieval Festival at Crowell Castle. Crowell Castle is 50 years old this year, so get yourself along to that. And lastly, the 31st of December, Dalesford's most famous New Year's Eve parade and gala, of course, on the beautiful Vincent Street in Daylesford. Back to the studio. And welcome back. Look, we have been talking all night about the wonderful music that's being made by Bratzilla. Without further ado, we're going to cross to Studio 2. And are you ready, Bratzilla?
I am ready, Lance.
Fantastic. Let's do it.
Okay, this song will be appearing on my debut EP. It is called We Can't Keep Meeting Like This, and it goes like this. Put myself on the same that you used to light a cigarette, then to make myself feel relevant. But enough for the hell of it, demolishing my common sense. When somebody help me see my life again, switching, clawing at my skin, picking scabs like butterfly wings. Let the demons come flooding in. I think that we both know how this will end. Push you away, baby, please stay. I swear it won't always be this way. Oh, I'm hellfire and holy water. So baby, pick your poison and get on the roller coaster. Say you could fix me, but who's fixing who? We both know in the end that I'll just destroy you too. Isolating, suffocating, medicating. I don't really wanna know just how far I dare to go. Stopping on the floor, I put a hole in my wall and screaming into my pillow like I never had before. Oh, call it intuition, I still call it a curse. Just watch me take a simple thing and make it mean the worst. And I might call 100 times and back to apologize. Don't leave me hanging on the line. Need to know that we're alright. Cut my hair in the bathroom sink. I might have another drink. Wake up in a stranger's bed. Anything to help forget. I've never asked forgiveness from anyone but you. And I could give up everything, but I could never say goodbye to you. Oh, I'll push you away, but baby, please stay. I swear it won't always be this way. Oh, I'm hellfire and holy water. So baby, pick your poison and get on the roll. I'm dancing on a tightrope, towing on the borderline, because love is just a joke, and well, baby, I'm the punchline. Say you could fix me, but who's fixing who? We both know in the end that I'll just destroy you too. I'd give anything not to feel a thing. Tell me how to keep oceans buried under my skin. Feels like my head is spinning out of control, but I would rather drown than admit that I need help. Nobody taught me how to love quietly. Always feel everything too fucking deeply. So what the hell am I supposed to do with everything I feel for you? Am I still going? Yeah, I'll push you away, baby, please stay. I swear it won't always be this way. Oh, I'm hellfire and holy water. So baby, pick your poison and get on the roll. I'm dancing on a tightrope, towing on the borderline, because love is just a joke, and well, baby, I'm the punchline. Say you could fix me, but who's fixing who? We both know in the end that I'll just destroy you too. Thank you. Sorry for the technical difficulties.
Amazing.
Thank you. I just lost my pick at the end there, just ignore that.
Vocally, it was amazing.
Thank you.
But there was some trouble with the guitar.
What?
It just was like, yeah, it was distorting. I
Cutting
don't know.
out, was it?
Yeah,
Yes. Well,
don't know.
sorry for those of you who had to hear that.
The joy of art.
Yeah.
Absolute
the joy
of
of
art.
playing live.
Yeah, so
honestly.
sorry to interrupt that part. I was just making
Yes,
sure that
no,
connection was...
that's okay.
But vocally, you're gorgeous.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you also to everybody who watched tonight. We appreciate you being part of the audience. We appreciate you being on the show tonight.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for being had. Thank you to the studio audience. Thank you to Channel 31. Thank you to Dr. Sophie and to Cheryl. And between now and then, please remember, be kind.
Thanks for watching Lance TV. We'll be back same time next week. Lance TV is made possible through funding from the Community Broadcasting Foundation. I'm voiceover guy Randall Smith. See you next time.